boys and girls, today in Bible is where we just get to absolutely sad, terrible things. So now we're going to be talking about when Jesus was in the garden toward the end of the time. Judas, his disciple who betrayed him to the priests and the Pharisees, he came with soldiers and he went and he kissed Jesus, which was the sign to tell them who Jesus was that they should arrest. So they went up to Jesus and they arrested him, and they did a lot of things that were actually against their law to try to get him convicted and get him killed. And they took him to different places where they would put him up to try to prove that he should be killed. It never really worked out exactly right, but they really wanted it to be done. So they did it. Now, the videos you're going to watch are not exactly accurate, and that's because being crucified was so terrible that it's not appropriate for children to watch. The Romans had picked the very worst way to die that they could come up with, so that anybody walking by and seeing it happen would know, oh my goodness, I don't know what they did to get crucified, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to make sure I sure don't do that. They had Jesus crucified, and the Bible says that Jesus was really alone then. His friends ran away from him, all except for just a couple. And several people who write about this time in Jesus' life say that even God kind of separated himself a little bit from Jesus there. God and Jesus, even though God wasn't there for Jesus to see during his life or to touch or to give a hug to, God and Jesus were still very, very close. They were like the best friends you could ever imagine. And some of these writers say that when Jesus was there on the cross, he was there to take all of our sin for us. And we've said already this year that sin can't be in the presence of God. So Jesus was there on the cross with all of our sin. And he was really, really alone. So boys and girls, today you're going to watch the videos. And then I want you to think to a time when you felt really, really alone. Yesterday, you wrote about a time when you felt comforted, or drew about a time when you felt comforted. So now see if you can imagine one of those times when you really wanted to be comforted and nobody did it for you. You felt completely alone. Maybe you were upset about something and your parents were mad at you and they sent you away. A time when you really felt alone, or maybe you were separated from your mom and dad. Maybe they were gone on a trip somewhere and things just weren't right where you were staying with people. Or maybe you were at school and your friends were all mad at you. Think about a time when you felt really, really alone. Jesus felt even more alone than that when he was up on the cross. But he did it anyways because he loved us so much. He wanted us to be able to be saved with him. So when you're writing and drawing today, think about that time when you felt really alone. And then you can know, no matter how alone you are, Jesus felt even more alone than that. And he went ahead and did it because he wanted to save you. He wanted you to know that you didn't have to ever really be alone because God would always be there for you. So even though these times right now are really pretty sad times to be thinking of, starting next week, we're going to be talking about more cheerful things, the things on the other side of Easter, the good things that happened. These horribly sad times happened so that we could have hope. Go ahead with your watching the videos and writing and drawing now. Bye-bye.